Well, good evening, everybody. I hope my audio is working. If somebody could give me an audio check, I'd appreciate it. Uh, Tonight, I'm going to try and discuss what got Cynthia Abcug in this mess to begin with. Um, Something persuaded this woman to take such an unbelievably drastic step. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate the feedback. Uh, that wound up having her go to jail. Now, we basically know some of the story that members of QAnon uh, somehow got her involved in everything. But, it doesn't entirely explain it. Cynthia is a intelligent woman. She's college educated. She was in the health profession. Um, Yet she made the drastic step of allegedly somehow getting her hands on a firearm. Some say she bought it. Some say she got it from Field McConnell through um, the so-called bodyguard. Rather hard to figure that out, but this is what the trial's going to bring out. The trial's going to answer a lot of those questions. Now, as I said, in May of 2020, I got a private message from Cynthia asking me if there is information on who might be investigating the fake Pentagon task force and if I knew anybody that was investigating them. Now, this was a year ago. And it's also interesting that this is in May of 2020. For as we know, by the end of May, uh, Timothy Charles Holmseth had quit live streaming out of his car and he quit making current videos. Basically, he just quit. And so we have uh, Cynthia Abcug by the time May came around. Uh, let me do something here. Okay, maybe that'll correct the problem. Uh, Doubting that these people actually meant to help. It was a bit late. She got her ass arrested. And at that time, I believe she was in jail. She hadn't gotten released on home confinement with a GPS. Yeah. Um, so, yeah, just reading some of your comments, folks. So I'm a little bit distracted. But you would think a woman of this intelligence would not have fallen for such an obvious scam and also get herself involved in something that she should have realized was going to get her into serious trouble. But again, Cynthia was desperate. Her children are gone. She had no idea if she was going to get the children back or not. And so this was an act of desperation on her part. Now, she was caught with the gun, Glow, in Montana with Joseph Ramos driving the car. So we know that much. But what's not absolutely clear is when and how she got it. Did Wilson fly it out with him when he came to Colorado? That does not seem likely because he would have had to get it on the airplane. And the TSA is pretty strict about guns on the aircraft. They x-ray suitcases, they check carry-ons, all that. So unless he's got a concealed carry, he's not even going to get the gun into the airport. So it seems logical that the gun came into her possession at some point by someone traveling by land, or she did purchase the gun. That's something that I've always wondered, is if Wilson brought the gun, how did he get it past TSA? So this is what will come out in court. The court is going to, they should argue in court, either in opening arguments or during the course of the trial, how Cynthia came in possession of that firearm. And one of the reasons I'm going up there is because from the last I checked, the mainstream media is not covering the case. Whether there'll be a reporter in the courtroom, I don't know. But I've been told that there is no chance that there is going to be any live streaming. And so that is where we stand on that. I am trying to get enhanced coverage status. It's a 50-50 proposition because, you know, the application is coming from a blogger. And the courts really don't like bloggers all that much. Especially in Florida because of what happened down here. Now, there are some things I'm working on. I'm calling the court administration sometime this week to finalize the rules down there so that when I do arrive in Colorado, I will be clear as to what I am and am not able to do in the court. At a minimum, I want to be able to text from the courtroom. That way I can do texting on my Twitter account and keep everybody updated as to what the situation is in court and give you a minute by minute account of the process of the trial, progress of the trial. Now, the plan B I have in mind is I can go in and sit in court as an observer, just like anybody else can. Anybody can go into court, provided there's enough room, and observe the trial. I can also make arrangements with the court that at the end of the day, I can get transcripts or, check and see what the most recent records are directly in the clerk of the court. It's a little easier than trying to do this stuff over the internet. Now, I got a little bit ahead of myself. Generally, the way these things work is you get into court in the morning. It's going to be 8:30 in the morning, Mountain Time, 10:30 in the morning, Eastern. I understand that they are going to make jury selection in the morning. If this is the case, I cannot broadcast the proceedings because you cannot disclose the juror's name, and that can't show pictures of them and stuff like that. So if I was to be granted audio visual access to the hearing, I would not be able to go online until after jury selection was made. Then there's the second problem. There is the fact that this is involving a minor, namely the child that was in foster care. The daughter may be an adult by now or close to it. So there may or may not be any restrictions when it comes to her daughter. Now, I'm going to have to check and see how old her daughter is, and that'll give me an idea of the kind of access that I may or may not have in the courtroom. Now, I would assume that after the jury selection takes place, that there would then be opening arguments by the prosecution and then the defense. This all may happen on Monday. The reason I'm saying that this all may happen in one day is because the schedule for the trial calls for 5 days: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Now, barring any change in plans by the defense or the prosecution, that means that the trial will wrap up either sometime Friday. The closing arguments would be sometime on Friday. It would be then handed over to the jury. The jury would deliberate, and however long it took the jury to reach a decision, that is up to the jury. Now, my live stream might be a bit short tonight. I got one hell of a cold. Actually, it's allergies. I'm allergic to ragweed and oak pollen and some of the other nonsense that we have down here. So it may, I'm not really feeling at the top of the world at the moment. If anything, I feel tired. So I may cut the live stream short. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, so the way this is going to work, trial will start first thing in the morning. I'm going to try and get there a bit early. And well, Martha, it does seem kind of quick, and I was surprised at it. But unless they're going to flow over into a second week, which I have no indication that that's going to be the case. Excuse me. It basically sounds like there's going to be a minimal number of witnesses that are going to be called. And so you have maybe a day and a half of the prosecution, a day and a half of the defense, or maybe or something different. And then Fridays you're closing and turning it over to the jury. Now, there was a hearing on Thursday. And at that hearing, a rather interesting bit of information came up. They were debating a witness who happens to be an inmate in the state of Arizona. Now, I'm not too clear what the situation is with him. You know, why are they bringing this witness to Colorado from Arizona? Now, there must be a very important reason for doing that. I'm going to have to go back and review, excuse me, the records on the hearing to see why that particular individual has anything to do with the case. Now, again, Martha said that there's not very many witnesses. I hit the wrong quote. And that could be a clue that the prosecution has the bulk of the witnesses and the defense doesn't have that many. Now, two things can happen here. Either the defense can maybe call one or two of its own witnesses, or what seems to me more likely, the defense is going to cross-examine all of the prosecution witnesses, depending on who the prosecution calls. Now, another thing that came out in the Thursday hearing that is also going to yeah, I appreciate you doing that timeline. I might find it interesting to have. Let me get back. This is why I don't like looking at the chat. There was, and it's another interesting thing that came out in the hearing, and that was that there is a pediatrician that's going to be called probably on Thursday. And I don't remember if it's a prosecution or defense witness. What was funny is that while they were doing this debate over these two witnesses, the judge kept asking both the prosecution and the defense, are you sure that you're ready to go to trial on Monday, August 2nd? And they both said, yes, we're ready to go. The housekeeping that's going to be done this coming Thursday will apparently clear everything up so that everything will be out of the way and ready to go. Now, will there be hostile witnesses? I don't know. This is a fairly sealed trial. And because of that, there hasn't been a lot of discovery come out. I haven't been able to find out who the witnesses are. I haven't been able to find out any evidence. I haven't been able to obtain any 911 calls or body cam footage, any of this stuff. It's all sealed by the judge. This happened way back when this first came up in court. The judge instantly sealed the case. And I haven't been able really to find out why, other than it may have to do with the fact that one of the victims and one of the witnesses are children. And they were her children. And so when it comes to children, the court is a bit antsy on what they are going to be allowed. Now, I'm going to kind of bring this up. I had put an embargo on discussing certain individuals, and I also qualified that in saying that if something came up that made it appropriate to discuss these individuals, I would. And it is this. Now, there have been several mainstream articles about how Cynthia got in the mess she got into. And the mess is alleged to have been caused by Phil McConnell, by Mr. Wilson, by a wealthy woman who has a house in Virginia and also has connections to the State Department, Chris Hallett, and other people. And as we get close to trial, there's been some rather peculiar actions by certain individuals, specifically on Twitter. And so, me and this particular account, I've had something of a pissing match going back and forth. The defamation and slander of me and Kim and other people has intensified considerably. And normally, when this happens, it is because they are getting nervous. And this seems to be what's happening right now. And another interesting thing, and the guy is probably in here, is that our friend from Lion News decided that he was going to leave responses in my YouTube comments. Now, I have told the owner of Lion News that he is specifically prohibited from contacting me either through email or through contact on any one of my social media accounts. I have, in a sense, given him a cease and desist, and he violated it. And so I seem to think that that group of people is getting nervous because Field McConnell, Randy Erickson, Tim Holmseth, Chris Hallett, and other people are involved in this. Okay, I got to answer this. I'm not understanding why this. Okay. It is not Field McConnell's sister. This is another woman. I believe the name is Dana. It's in the Northwest Liberty View News transcript. Bill McConnell does not get along with his sister. She is a Democrat. There is a dispute over the estate. I think she was made trustee of the estate. And apparently Field felt he was not being treated fair or something. And he has gone on he has attacked her in the same way he has attacked okay, Martha. Lion News is primarily a blog. I don't know if the guy has a live stream or not. But I don't even think he was in the National Guard. This guy has got a record in the courts a mile long. He's had at least one restraining order put against him by a couple. He's created a fuss in court. He's a real character. And so, he constantly calls Kim Picasio the perjurer based on a complaint that she made with a police department over threats that he were made against her life. And so he has basically come to defense. And he also tried to represent Field McConnell's wife while she was alive, even though he's not a lawyer. And that all fell apart. Uh, Now, he has made it clear to me that if I mention his name on the internet, that he will file a complaint with the police department where he lives, saying that I am placing his life in danger. And this guy has joined the chorus of those who have accused me of being a pedophile. So I find it a bit hypocritical that this guy is terrified of having his name mentioned on the internet when he's the one that is placing my safety and security and that of Kim Picazzio's in peril. But this guy thinks only for himself, as do the others. And his problem, whether he doesn't or whether he realizes it or not, is because of his involvement with these people, he's a potential witness in the Abcug case. Because he was going full bore with his activity around the time that all this stuff was going down with Abcug. Now, I've never seen Lion News in any uniform. The only time I've seen him is they had a picture of him in his t-shirt standing in front of his house. And this is when I think a local media did a article on him when he had one of his problems. His name, at the risk of creating incitement, since he contacted me when he was told not to, is Terry Neimers. I don't know how to pronounce that. I think it's Neimers. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull something up here. I can't do it on this. I'll have to do it here. But, you know, he has this habit. He will send you the longest emails you'll ever get in your life. I mean, it would take you 2 hours to read his emails. Because he prints just about everything he's written about Kim Picazzio. And then he sends it to me. Okay, let's see what we come up with. Okay, his name is Terry, Terry, Dean, Dean, Nemmers. And, you know, there's quite a history. Crackpot Terry is the name of a Now, did that audio come over by any chance? But I have basically a video of him screaming bloody murder into a megaphone. Now, he's debated with me. He says, "Oh, I'm innocent. I was cleared of all charges." And then I said, "Well, what about me? I wasn't even charged with anything." And he refuses to hear it. But what I'm going to do is, in case that audio did not come over, I'm going to put it in I'll link in the room and you guys can, yeah, it came over my headphones, but gonna see. Okay, where'd it go? Trying to figure out how I can get this in the room. Okay, let me go down here. Sure. Okay, that's a video file. That won't work with the software. What I'll do is I'm going to get the link to the video channel where this file is. Okay. I'm trying to bring up, because there is a YouTube channel. No, see what this says. Okay, this is his own channel. Oh boy. Because I'm looking for the link I just had up, because it's funny because it's basically he's screaming. No, here it is. I just found it. Okay, now got that part. Now this particular video, when I get it in here, is really funny to watch. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it won't play the audio of the channel. I don't know why. So what I'm going to do is I am sending the link to the channel that discusses him and plays his video. Now, hopefully, I'm still getting audio off my channel, which I can find out real quick. Because I'm not sure. Okay, well, now we got a problem. I wonder why I'm not getting audio. Okay, all right. I was worried there because I tried to listen to it on the other computer that I'm using for a monitor, and I got no audio. When I play a video, it goes into my headphones, but it does not go over the air. I don't know why. Now, one thing I'm doing tonight is I am live streaming off my laptop. And the reason I'm doing this is the laptop is going to be used when I'm in Colorado. I normally live stream on my desktop. Now, what I'm not sure of yet is whether or not I'm going to use the laptop to live stream from the court. That's going to depend on a number of things. Number one, it's going to depend on whether the court will allow me to have the thing in there and whether there's Wi-Fi that I can tap into. Although, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to turn one of my cell phone's Wi-Fi option on. I usually don't do that because it's an extra $10 a month, but I'm going to turn it on long enough to use for this live stream in August, and then I'll turn it back off again. Excuse me. Hello, Shar. Welcome to the chat. And so that's the situation there. But Mr. Neimars likes to pester me. He comes in and sends me emails. I told him to quit sending me emails. I told him not to contact me on my YouTube channel, and he contacted me on my YouTube channel. And he left 4 Glow, I may need your help with the cash Jernan case. Okay, why is this not coming up on here? Well, I'll be glad to look at it and see what I can do. We could always have a discussion session on the internet about the case. If you would send me an email maybe and give me some information on what this case is about. And this way I can give an informed comment to the subscribers in this room. That will be something I can do once I get back from Colorado. And it'll give me time to go through the case and see what's involved. Oh, we got another big case in Texas. Because as you know, there is a case of a child in Texas. I don't know if this is the same one or not. But is this the one where the child is missing? Shar? It seems like it's something different. Because that's, I know Levi Page did a segment on the missing girl, child, I should say. And that was one. Yeah, nutblog is an understatement. Cash Garden was killed. Okay, this is an entirely different case then. Yeah, the officer was quite patient with him. He wasn't going to give him any room to. Oh shit! I can't use this one. Sorry about that. But yeah, he's quite a character. He seems to think he's a know-it-all when it comes to the law and all this other stuff, and he doesn't know crap. And he keeps getting into trouble. And he's found his niche on the okay, Shar, that will be a big help because I can go through it and go from there. Because I'd have to go on the other computer, and the way I've got the keyboard, it might not be easy. Because again, I'm using the laptop. If I had done this on my desktop, it would have been a heck of a lot easier. Let me do this. The heck? Okay. See. Okay, as of May 8th, 2021, suspect in case of 4-year-old dead now faces new charges. New charges of burglary and injury to the elderly are from a previous incident that happened in February, Dallas police says. And says that a Darylyn Brown, 18, was charged with kidnapping and theft in connection to the death of Cash Gurnon. The 4-year-old was found dead in the street, with what police at the time called unspecified wounds, as a neighbor was passing by on May 15th. Yeah, this is a case that I'm definitely going to be interested in. So I will be looking into this, and if you're over on Facebook, and if we're not following each other, I'm definitely going to do that. An affidavit from police said the video from inside the home on March 15th showed a man identified as Brown by police picking up the sleeping boy and carrying him from the room. Based on video surveillance and photos provided by the woman, investigators determined Garnon was the boy whose body had been found, the affidavit said. Though Brown faces the charges in connection with the 4-year-old's death, he has not been charged directly with his killing. This is remarkably similar to how Haley Cummings disappeared. Now, Haley Cummings, if anybody doesn't know, is a child that disappeared in Samsula, Florida, just outside of Putnam County, Palatka, Florida, and is still missing. This is the one that Tim Homestead barged into and has been obsessed with for the last 12, 13 years. And so now we have the same situation here. So I will start looking into this, and who knows, I may have another trial to cover live at some point. You never know. Yeah, they've got a video up here. This is the link I have is from a TV station. And I got to wait for the ad to finish. Yeah, I have not covered this case. This is really the first that I've heard of it. I think I've heard people talking about it, but there's so many ads or cases going on, and I've been concentrating on Cynthia. So this is a suburb of Dallas. Yeah, there's hundreds, if not thousands, of cases like this. And what I find annoying about this is that rather than cover these actual cases. These conspiracy nuts simply make things up out of thin air and attack innocent people. And they're wasting a lot of resources doing that. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you this is my what's going on here? Okay, I see what I did wrong. Excuse me. Okay, that is my email address. And you can send me an email if you wish. And I will also be going over to the Facebook to look into it. That's Shar. That's a big problem with these cases. Is everybody thinks of it as a big money pit. They get into it. They say, "Oh, this is a way I can make money doing this, that, or the other thing." And next thing you know, the story about the victim in this case is being left behind for this quest to make money. You see, it comes up with the Holmset. I mean, he's constantly asking for money, and other people are doing the same thing. And one thing, I agree with you there, Glow. One thing you have to understand is that those of us in social media are not the experts. I mean, I am a blogger. I currently have 17 people on here watching this. I'm a retired truck driver. I'm not anyone with any special abilities. I'm not going to be able to solve anything or influence anybody. I can basically just give input from those like you, Shar, that are involved in the case in a more direct manner, a way to get the word out. And then people have to make up their own mind when it comes to the information that is being given out. And it's a point of interest here because we have another child victim of violence. In this case, the child was killed. A child is not able to be a child. His life is cut short. Lion News, you have been told that you are not allowed on the channel. Why are you stalking this channel? You are in an area where you're not invited. You are a liar. You are a stalker. You are a fraud. Why don't you go over to BitChute and over to Timmy Tiny Land where you belong? Are there any wrenches in there? This idiot needs to be taken off of here. I'm going to report him to YouTube for harassment because he is told not to be in here. And he just will not take no for an answer. And since you barged in here, Terry, we are going to do an expose on you so that people know exactly who you are. You have been told time and again to stay out of here. And you can't seem to take no for an answer. And do not believe anything that he says. The guy is a pathological liar. He goes around harassing Kim Picasio. He is a huge fan of Timothy Holmset. I think he wants to marry him. I don't know. But he has been stalking me for years. I have told him, do not contact me at all. I told him in YouTube tonight when he left four comments on my channel, do not come in here. And he comes in here anyway. So he just needs to go off. See, what he is trying to do is to put a wedge between you and Levi Page. Now, I don't know what Levi has said about you. I can't verify it. But somebody like this guy is, well, I'm a good company then. Of course, I remember back from the days of ARPANET. But he does this all the time. It's alleged that he has sock accounts over on Twitter that he attacks me on, and so on. But he likes to barge in where he's not wanted. I don't understand it. You'd think he had better things to do than be running around trolling a 20-person YouTube channel, but that's Terry. And I've got copies of the emails that I sent him where I explicitly told him that he is not to contact me at all at any time. And I also have the screenshots where I told him that in YouTube. I told him that he is not allowed in this channel, and he came in anyway. Yeah, they are white noise. The problem is he screws up the chat, and he tries to get people to turn on each other. He's obsessed. Why he fell in league with Tim Holmseth and Randy and so forth is beyond me. But that's how desperate he is. He's one of these sovereign citizen type people, and he just goes on. I'm going to go ahead and show that. What the hell? If I can bring it up. Okay, YouTube put a stop on one of your posts, and I can't find it to bring it out. But I'll just go at it with that. But see, that's what happens. And, now we've gone off the thread again because people like Terry just can't mind their own damn business. Now, okay, I let that go by. Okay. But, what are you going to do? Little boys have got to play. He's lonely up there in Minnesota. Doesn't have a life. Probably is a social outcast or something. I don't know. It's like Timmy. These guys are desperate for attention. Well, okay, this just wandered off into nowhere land. But yeah, I'm definitely going to go over to Facebook and get involved in get on the channel. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my usual inquiries. Yeah, there goes my other headset on the floor. Because I want to see if there's any progress. Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I just kind of doing a little bit of mind wandering here. Okay, I'm on the other computer. I'm going to log onto my Facebook account. Because what I'll do is okay, let me type in. Okay, okay, I put a like on the channel. Um, okay, I am logged onto the page. And it looks like the last post on here was an hour. Oh, I guess that's a pinned post. But the last post was 4 hours ago, September, May 15th, 2021. And he's an Avengers fan. So am I. It was, I should say. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I've liked the room and I'm going to bookmark it. So at least it'll be on this computer. I'll have to set it up on the other computers. Oh, really? That's they have a picture apparently of the Texas Green Gravestone Care uh, that provided it. Well, I just want to assure you I'm not here to exploit this case. I'll do the best I can to get the story out, and I will work with you and the family to do this properly. I don't want to be another one of these people that screws everything up like Tim Holmseth does. Could social media trolls get charged with interfering with the Tristan Bailey case? Hmm. Oh, this is out of Jacksonville. Huh. Okay. Interesting. Sounds like these people are in the same situation I am with this libel and slander. I'll have to look more into this. Yeah, this is a press pass that I obtained. It's a temporary pass. My official press pass that I'm going to be using in the future is not going to be here until after the trial. So this is a temporary pass, and I'm using in the meantime. Uh, Well, that's good. That children should not be exploited for um, money. Um, that's the problem with social media today. Um, is people are using accounts like this one to make money off of it, gain a little bit of fame, what have you, instead of being honest. Now, I don't know if you know my story, Shar, but I outlived my son. Uh, John Bryan was 25 years old when he succumbed to juvenile diabetes. He died on the way to the surgery because he had had quadruple heart surgery and they were going to try and come up with a way to make him live. And unfortunately, he never made it to surgery. And having to outlive your child is one of those things I would not wish on my worst enemy. The pain is there every day of our lives. And I also lost my wife. So basically, I am a widower. So, it's kind of a double whammy, but I know what it's like to have your child taken away from you through a sudden death or through whatever circumstances, to where you outlive your child. It's one of the reasons I got involved in these things. Originally, I got involved to see if we couldn't reunite the missing children with their parents or guardians. And now I am just involved to try and keep these children from being exploited. So I'm going to be looking over this page and trying to find out what the truth is here and how best to present this on this live stream and then in the future. So this will likely be one of the subjects that I will be discussing in future live streams after the Abcug case wraps up and in between the trials of Phil McConnell and Neely Blanchard. So, this live stream is for you people and the things that you are interested in. And I am willing to delve into these various situations and get your story out. I can put people on the air and they can discuss their concerns over these various cases and so forth. I've done it in the past, and now I have this new software. It's much easier to do. And so I will be offering that in the future for you folks. Good evening, Alex. Welcome to the show. I kind of morphed from talking about the latest developments with Cynthia Abcug in this case of this young man, Cash Gernon, out of Texas, who was apparently murdered back in July. I don't have the camera running, so I can't show Amber. She just made her usual debut. Yeah, go girl. Okay, go. Okay, who is Molly? Okay, well, I guess that I can figure that all out later. But the problem with people that cover these cases is sometimes those involved don't like the coverage for one reason or another. that's why I'm going to try and not get into a situation where people feel I'm exploiting the child. Um, this is an accusation that was made against me back in the days of Casey Anthony and Trenton Duckett. And I don't plan on exploiting anyone. And, so I try to tread lightly when I get involved with discussing these individual cases. So, it's just, well, Trevor Gannon. Okay. Well, sure. Again, that's what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to try to do the old dragnet thing, just the facts, ma'am. Um, because when this is extremely recent, May of this year, to have this out there on social media, it's a raw situation for the child's survivors, the mother, the grandmother, so on and so forth. And so those of us in social media have to be extremely careful, how we discuss these cases. And it's something I've always been concerned about, because when I see other people discussing these cases, and some of the things that they bring out, the speculations and so on, I say to myself, I am not going to make that mistake, or at least try not to, because you have to respect the families and the loved ones. And so that's what I will try to do here, as I research this case to see where it's going. What in the world? They got a picture of her child up here, and it looks like she's got bruises on her face, bruises on her arms. So it looks like we have a case of child abuse here. I hate seeing stuff like this. Hmm. Colton's law kept 3 million, but not children protection measures. That doesn't sound good. Well, what I'll do is, as I get more time to explore everything here, because I'm not going to barge in and start leaving comments or anything like that. I don't think it's in my place to do that. And you can probably send me a note as the best way you think I can best approach this. Let me go to the about. A lot of videos I'm going to have to. Okay, sorry about the moment of silence here. I've been reading the thread. Um, no, I didn't disconnect arrest. I am over on the Cash uh, Gurn Justin family Facebook page, studying it a little bit because of Shar's commentary to me. So I'm just kind of looking at it, um, because I am completely unfamiliar with this case. And so I've got a lot of catching up to do. It seems to be like it's a fresh situation. Um, so hopefully I'm still. Uh, okay, this is out of the Dallas area. So what I'm going to have to do, if you could send me the case information, I could start the FOIA process with the court to find out, uh, when this thing is going to come to come up for trial and so forth. I would think, by the looks of things, unless he pleads out, the criminal trial will not take place until sometime after the first of the year. And so then, it boils down to, you know, how I'm going to get to Texas to cover this if I cannot cover it remotely. Um, I was fortunate enough to have resources in place for the Neely Blanchard case, or not Neely Blanchard, excuse me, for the Cynthia Abcug case. So I'm able to go up there and cover it as best I can. And again, the Abcug case is uh, involves a minor, a child, in this case, her son. So I'm not sure what I am going to be allowed to do in that one. Yeah, I have heard you say you have all the information, and I'm going to definitely want to get as much of it as possible, which is why I gave you the email. Sometimes, though, what I can do is I can get information from the court itself on scheduling and all sorts of stuff. And if you are able to help me with that, um, it's going to help me a great deal. Arrest Timmy Homestead. I just got approved in the partnership program by YouTube, and I will be able to set up a super chat as soon as I figure out how the heck to do it. This is one small way that people can help. I know Monty uses it to get ice cream and stuff like that. It's a little thing he's at. That's where I first heard about super chats. And now that I have uh, that qualification, uh, I can go ahead and do it. Okay, let me. Just running back between two computers driving me nuts. Okay, I'm gonna put that up there. But what I can guarantee, Shar, is I am going to go through you exclusively, uh, and have you guide me as to what you want me to put out. Uh, because again, this is a delicate situation when reporting on something that is causing so much pain to a family. And I can gather by looking over the Facebook page that they have not been happy with social media uh, when it comes to reporting this. And it's an all too common problem that, for whatever reason, the people on social media. Sorry to hear your phone is breaking. And so what I'd like to try and do is make sure that I'm abiding by the wishes of the family as I go forward with trying to figure out how I'm going to present this story on this channel and my other social media outlets. I have a blog and I have my Twitter account that I use, cross referencing everything. And so I'm going to try and see what I can do about this. I will have between now and next month to discuss with everybody involved in this case how to go forward. So Char, you just well, yeah, at this point, I don't know who this person is, and I don't want to get involved in some kind of pissing match. Now, Char has expressed that she is approved by the family in one form or another to tell the story of this child and to get out the information that they feel comfortable with. So I'm going to work with Char to start the initial research into this story and present it in a way that is not going to be concerning to the family, because the family is going through a rough patch. They've lost a child through devastating circumstances, and the last thing I want to do is upset them anymore than have been done by other people. And so it's one of these things that I'm just not going to plunge into this and start blasting the channel with the story. I'm going to take the time to go through this. And yes, I would like to talk to the biological grandmother privately so that I can figure out between the three of us who how best to handle this, explain to her who I am and how I do things, and she can decide whether or not she wants me to participate in this. Yes, cyberbullying is illegal. Cute kid. She's just so sad. Someone that young is just gone because of an act of violence. And it's all that potential. It's see if this meets the. Oh, man, that's dumb. Yeah. Now that particular question is what I'm going to have to uh, discuss with you as to how everything fits together. I don't want to step on toes, but is normally the situation in these cases is probably something that involved child services or what have you. But again, I don't want to get into all the speculation. Okay, let me try this way. Okay, yeah, I'm just... Now, that's a wise decision, Charlie. That way we don't... Because this is an ongoing case, so you don't want to let information out that can mess it up. Just so people understand. This is the link to the Facebook page dedicated to the child. And what I'm doing is I'm going to wander through it just a little bit. Because there's a quote in here I'm looking for. That's right here. Hopefully. I'll say it. This is going to allow me to bring this entire quote in here. Let me go. Doing a little multitasking here, so be patient with me. Now, don't worry too much about the typos. I make typos too, because it goes. unless it's on the. Now, the law that I believe is being talked about in the introduction, if I can find it, is a Texas law. And working my way down through here. Hey, I'm trying to see. All right, well, if it's fixable, I can understand that. Well, I'm going to have to definitely do some more research because I saw that. Okay, Colton is the case I'm going to be looking into because I want to see exactly how this is spelled out in the way it's written. Some of these things are very specific on the way they're written. And it's good that if there is some enforcement to stop some of the trash that keeps being put up there by people who are in these social media sites for the wrong reasons. Well, hello, Layby. Welcome to the chat. I was talking about Cynthia Abcug, and now I'm, going a little over on the time I intended on spending on this. The Cash Gurnon Justice family, and the child that was killed back in May after he was abducted from his house, surprisingly enough, in the same way that Haley Cummings vanished, that someone snatched this kid with the other two sound asleep. And it's disturbingly similar to the Haley Cummings case. And so we've been going back and forth on here with a woman who is close to the biological grandmother, apparently. So I figured I'm going to run this up probably to the top of the hour. And one thing, this is a little off topic, Levi, but I wanted to get together with you and figure out what nights you live streaming, because I want to make it so I'm not competing with your show, being on the air at the same time you are. And so I was going to choose a night either Saturday or Sunday when you're not on the air, so I'm not interfering with you. Oh, firemen, welcome. We had a new troll in here tonight. Lion News showed up and thought he was going to have the run of the chat, and I resolved that rather quickly. Well, Dwayne, it's not so much the competence or incompetence of the police, it's the fact that he's only charged with a misdemeanor in his home state of Minnesota. If he gets into Minnesota and he commits any kind of crime or has a taillight out, expired registration, seatbelt offense, something along those lines, they will pull him over. And when the warrant comes up, off he goes. And so he has to be in one of those two states in order to go to the Huskow. Now, what's interesting is there is a possibility, I haven't confirmed this, that he may be a material witness in the Abcug case. And if that's the case, they are going to issue a summons to appear. And if he is actively avoiding that summons to appear, he may wind up being in even bigger trouble. Because remember, in the Northwest Liberty News, webcast, Holmes, Seth, Field McConnell, Dr. Good Vibes, and a number of other people were implicated in participating in what happened with Cynthia Abcug. Now, this is conspiracy to commit a felony. Conspiracy to commit kidnapping, interfere with parental custody, or all kinds of things that are involved here, depending on what the various law enforcement agency would want to charge him with. And so that is where things stand right now. This is a sealed case, and because it's a sealed case, it's hard to get discovery out of the court. Now, thank you, Dwayne. Now, the thing that I'm going to need to find out between now and the time I go to Denver is this going to be open court where people are allowed to observe? And am I going to be allowed to text live from the court? Am I going to be allowed to have an audio feed from the court? Am I going to be allowed to have a video feed from the court? I have to discuss all this with the court administration. That way I will know how I'm going to handle things. Because I have a plan A, which is complete coverage and live stream from inside the courtroom. I have plan B, meaning that I can go in the court and I go in the court as an observer and then come out either during recess, during lunch, or after the court session is over and give a synopsis as to what happened during the day and possibly get information from the clerk of the court as to what I could use to put on the air. Now, the problem that we have here again is the fact that the child is involved here as the victim or a potential victim in this case. And because of that, we get into a situation as to what the court is going to allow. They do things when children are involved that's different than when it's adults involved. So I'll have to see. Now, as far as I don't know if you meant pool or what, but you know, I'm not understanding that comment. But well, if Terry's come in here under a false name, he's violating once again a cease and desist. He is not allowed in here. I've told him he is not to contact me in any way, shape, or form. I think, I booted him from the room. So, but, Lindy, I don't understand your comments. But Levi today, he sent me 4 comments in my YouTube channel, and I threw them all out. Because he's not allowed in here, and he can't take no for an answer, which is unfortunate. I don't know why he is so interested in my channel. Yeah, I just didn't understand. Terry Lammers is a troll / blogger / stalker from the state of Minnesota. He's got a criminal record a mile long. He's been given restraining orders against stalking. He's a royal pain in the ass. And he has a burr up his ass about me and this channel. He has a burr up his ass about Kim Bacasio, and he is in love with Timothy Holmseth. He worships the guy. He thinks he's the king of the internet or something. I don't know. Excuse me. But he's just a nut that wanders around the internet. And he's somebody to be avoided. Yeah, I honestly believe he is, John. He's a trip, that's for sure. But he also writes the world's longest emails. Well, the thing I don't understand, Levi, if that's the case, then what is his beef with Kim? Because he went after Kim because of the police report she filed about Timothy way back. And that's where this perjure Kim or whatever he says when describing her. So I'm not understanding, what the deal is. Well, he needs something, Alex. He needs time in jail, that's for sure. So, that's... But, when I'm... Okay. What I want to do is I always like to check case updates just to make sure that something hasn't popped up. No, Lindy, she is not. As a matter of fact, on May 20th of last year, um, I got this from her. So she is not happy with Fields at all, and she's not happy with any of them. And she wanted to know if anything has. Yeah, I'd appreciate that, Char. Uh, and like I said, it's going to be before I do anything on reporting on this. It's going to be after I come back from Colorado, so we got a couple of weeks at least to figure out the approach. Figure out our approach, Marion County. I hate this page because it doesn't work. I'm gonna. Excuse me. And there we go. That's the one I wanted. Okay, Shar, you have a good evening. Hope everything works out. Give my love and prayers to the family. All right. Okay, we're still last entry again was July 8th, remote deposition of law enforcement witnesses. So the Blanchard case is being idle as well. Again, October 7th is going to be a private PTC. Uh, Jury selection is November 1st. So it's going to be sometime in November that this case is going to break. So now, Neely, or no, excuse me, uh, Cynthia has hearings after the trial. And I believe that the hearings after the trial, which is going to be in September, has to do with the custody of the children. And so, depending on how the case turns out in trial, that's going to have a big effect on that. So I guess we'll go from there. Okay. The term booger eaters originated from Alex. She used to call me a booger eater. It's her favorite. It's her favorite disparagement. So I guess I would be considered the original booger eater. Actually, no. This particular private message is the only thing I've ever heard from Cynthia. She has not contacted me since. Again, as you see the date, this is May 7th, 2020, which is over a year ago. And so I sent her a response, and she never got back to me. So I imagine that the lawyer said, don't be contacting anybody on social media right now. And so she's not going to contact anybody other than whoever her lawyer clears. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Yeah, so I have to take the credit for being the original booger eater. The Booger Eater Founders Council or something. I don't know. Good old days. It's too bad we aren't friendly with that guy that used to do the cartoons. The cartoon shirts. That would be funny. I'd love to find the software that guy used. Because I know he didn't do that himself. He's using software. That cartoon, whatever he called himself. Something Tunes. Bubba Tunes, yeah. Yeah, he turned out to be something of a character. Yeah. He found out that I wasn't on the same page with him politically, and he went ballistic. And what are you going to do? Yeah, Lindy, that is how I believe. Come on, get down there. Red, this is the accusation that was made in the Daily Beast article and another article that was written that Randy would go into these various missing children and also into the CPS channels and troll for victims is a better way to put it. Best way to put it. Yeah, I've been called a birdie bro and a socialist. And I don't entirely support Bernie. I think he's a bit extreme, and people are a little loose with these terms. Okay, well, they've made another thing caught on tape. Kim Alpacazio is a sleazy foreign agent attorney from Broward County who has been accused by her own law office of processing child rape pornography for 5 years. 5-year-old. Yeah, so now Randy is saying that Kim's own employees are accusing her of this stuff. You know, I sometimes think that Randy wants to see how far she can push Kim. You know, Kim has made it clear she doesn't give a flying fork about Randy. She thinks she's nuts. But then again, Randy keeps putting this stuff out. And Randy is, I think, trying to put Kim out of business. And, fortunately, this stuff that's put up on the BitChute channel has a limited reach. It's really, you think I got it bad. Kim is, she's being beat with a rock on social media. It's unbelievable. The stuff that they put out about her, and this latest one. I mean, it's just her convicted felon Russia mafia baby seller husband bitching at Jeremiah Regan. Sheesh. Of course, I've been accused of being in the Finders cult. That's the latest thing. I was accused of being a person of interest in the Delphi murders, and I'm involved in Trent Duckett. I'm involved in Haley Cummings. I mean, they got me involved with every child murder in the country. Yeah, they hate me too. So, I'm on the shit list. Jeremiah Regan is the father of a preacher. Now, I'm not absolutely clear on his role up in Florida, but Tim has him as a FBI agent or espionage agent or whatever the hell. And it's just the guy's been dead for a decade. To make a long story short. Now, the Finders cult originated, I believe, in Jacksonville, Florida, a long, long, long time ago. And it only resurfaced the story of it, I think about 5 or 10 years ago. The QAnons and conspiracy cultists picked up on it, and of course, Timothy picked up on it, and he's accused me and Levi both of being in this group and he accused Levi of actually being a child victim of NextVim or whatever. I mean, it's crazy trying to keep uh, all this. Now, I never met or knew Jeremiah. I know very little about him. No, the Finders is not in this book because he just made this up in the last year or so. Um, Tim goes around, and if he sees something current, he'll adapt his story to it. He did it with the Epstein thing, where when the Epstein story broke, Timmy said, "Oh, I talked about that in the book." And of course he didn't. There's nothing in the book about Epstein. And Wean Kruger, he took advantage of. Um, Wean did do a lot of damage. He probably should have kept her mouth shut. But at the same time, she has retracted all the stuff and has accused Holmseth of all kinds of things. And it's just, I'm beyond words about all this. I mean, the guy just won't leave people alone. He has to keep sticking his nose into business he has no business sticking his nose into. He gets told, "We don't want you involved. Go do something else." And he gets mad, and then he starts accusing people of stuff. Oh, of course I'll be name withheld. You'll always find some thing. Truth and Timmy and Randy are strangers. And he won't come on the air. All they do is, they come in here and they'll say barfly or they talk about underwear. It's idiotic. And so fortunately I have wrenches that help me out, because when things pick up with the trial coverage, I'm going to have a hell of a time with trolls. Lindy, him and Randy both talk about a guy laying face down on a bed in his underwear. She's obsessed with the guy in the underwear. Barflies is what she calls all of us. I guess that is because we are on Kim's side in this situation. That's all I can figure. And we all reside in their heads. They eat, sleep, and drink us all day long. Well, you have my blessing, John. You just wrench away. Yeah, the Finders was quite the story way back when. And, QAnon picked up on it. And, of course, Timmy picked up on it. He's been running with it ever since. And just tonight, they did another one of their Yahoo videos on their BitChute channel. And it's the same old bullshit. Um, I tell you, I don't know why Kim puts up with this stuff. It's got a pretty thick skin, I guess, because this latest accusation of Kim is, it's beyond the pale. Now she's, but what are you gonna do? That's up to Kim to deal with. Kim has basically said she doesn't care. Uh, they are so remote and their audience so limited that Kim feels that she has nothing to worry about. I disagree with that, but uh, if she's not going to do anything about it, there's nothing I can do. That's her business, basically. Yeah, Mother Karma's going to have a field day, and it may be sooner than anybody thinks. Because, it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of the trial. And it's going to be the trial of Cynthia Abcug that may answer a lot of questions. Gotta be careful with saying things like that, Dwayne. You'll get accused of stuff. Alex and Tim have been hitting me with this fake chat that 4chan put out for years, and there's nothing I can do about it. That's actually Pebble. That's actually revenge porn. It's illegal. And this is something that was started by somebody else years ago, and Randy picked up on it. But this is all she does. She's not for missing kids. She's not for stopping child trafficking. She's just out there wanting to gaslight complete strangers because they disagree with Timmy. So, I like that one. I yeah. Lindy, I don't know why she's sending people that stuff. It is revenge porn. It's a form of um, cyberbullying, but it's difficult to do anything about it. The person in the underwear would have to be the one to do any legal action. So, but it's kind of stupid. I mean, that's how low these people. Uh, yeah, that's fine, Dwayne. I'm half asleep anyway. But I'm the original booger eater anyway. I believe I'm the first one to be given that tag. Oh, the memories. Uh, Yeah, she wants as many people as possible to go after Kim. Uh, Last night on Twitter, I got bombarded by people I've never even heard of. Of course, they were all maggots. And the guy literally calls himself a maggot. Uh, and so, it's truth, I guess, depends on what your political viewpoint is. If you believe in the wrong guy, then you're automatically a liar. Oh, I'll do that, Dwayne. Amber was in here a little while ago, but I do not have my camera working properly, so I couldn't put her on the air. The camera on the PC is acting up, and the one on the laptop is not working right. So I'm basically just uh, I put up the slide for tonight because I will be using this computer when I'm on the road. This is my road machine that I've used for years when I'm doing remotes. And so when I go up to Colorado, I will be using this at least from the hotel room. And if I can get Wi-Fi, I'll be using it outside the courtroom. I don't think I could take it in the court, but we're going to find out. Uh, Randy, I don't think Randy was truly believing in Tim being railroaded. I think Randy saw an opportunity and took advantage of it because she found out the guy had a book. He had a pretty decent following on the internet, and it was a money opportunity and an attention opportunity for her. That is probably the reason that Randy got involved, because she even puts out songs about gots to get paid, which is a song by ZZ Pop. Uh, AMC vehicles, I guess it would depend on which uh, AMCs you're talking about, because they've gone into it. I think AMC owns Jeep now. Uh, Now, some AMC vehicles are good, and some AMCs. Are you talking about trucks by any chance? Because AMC makes a line of commercial vehicles, and they do have contracts to build military vehicles, if I remember correctly. Yeah, definitely fatal attraction. Now, the picture that you should have been sent would have been in the guy would have been in briefs, um, white briefs, if I remember correctly. And the guy was just flat out on his stomach. It was obvious it was a male. Uh, So, but what are you going to do? Kind of reminds me of a long time ago. I saw a picture of a woman laying face down on a bed, looking up straight into the camera, directly at the photographer. I mean, she didn't have a stitch of clothes on, and I wonder who that was. I'll never tell. Here comes the judge. I remember that. The song about the judge. Here comes the judge. Uh, Gremlin, they were interesting cars, Dwayne. The one looked like an upside down bathtub. Uh, and I've driven both. I had both on my lot when I was selling cars. And, you know, they they had their lovers and they had their haters. The one was quite an interesting car because it was wide. It was a small car, but it was wide. And it was unusually roomy. The other one was really short, it's about the size of my Honda Fit. It was a small car. Looked like somebody chopped the back end off it. But it was popular it was a low price car, and it was very, very popular. Uh, and from what I remember, they were both pretty solid little cars. And they are both collector's items. If you find one in halfway decent shape, you'll make some money on it because they're very, very popular right now. I think about 6, 7 months ago, somebody sent me an inquiry as if I knew where to find the Pacer. This thing with Craig Sawyer is weird. Uh, Now, once again, Tim Homeseth has connected me with somebody that I have nothing to do with. I ain't supposed to be some kind of spokesman for Craig Sawyer. I'm supposed to be in on his group doing all these things. And okay, thanks, Pebble. Uh, and I have never met Craig Sawyer. I've never talked to him on the phone. I think I exchanged one or two messages with him. We actually blocked each other at one time because we're complete opposites politically. He hates Hillary Clinton. I'm ambivalent about it. He calls her Killary, yet um, Tim accuses Craig of being her bodyguard, which is. But they're interesting cars, Dwayne, to get off the subject. uh, I'm going to have to get on my old memory bank when it comes to those cars. But AMC, they make some good cars, they make some bad ones. But, it's, you get into these stories about cars. Yeah, Randy is known to be quite rude. Um, I've talked to people, the Waterman case or whatever that was up north. I had the two women that are deeply involved in that case on, and they did not like Randy at all. Uh, and they didn't like Tim at all either. Oh. All right, there we go. Gotta love Karens. Yeah, it's funny. Randy threatened to sue me because I said bad things about her. Of course, that didn't go anywhere. And she knows she can't sue me because if she does, I'm going to march into court with 2 banker boxes and a external hard drive full of evidence about where she's done the same thing to me. And so that ain't going to work. And every time she puts something about me up on the social media, I copy it so she can't delete any of it. Yeah, and she just keeps accusing me and accusing me and accusing me. And then, of course, if somebody decides to do a vigilante thing and take me out, she'll probably throw a party and start a defense fund for the guy or girl. You know, Neely Blanchard has demonstrated how violent these people are. Well, I agree with you, Dwayne, and that's why Timmy and Randy are hiding because they don't want to run into the process servers. There are at least 3 process servers looking for them. And they know it, and they refuse to accept the summons, even though they say that they're in the right and they didn't do anything wrong. They refuse to defend themselves. So I don't know what option Craig Sawyer and the other people are going to have when it comes to getting these summonses served on these people. Yeah. Okay, I'm not finding the. Lindy is asking, do you think someone behind the scenes is paying Timothy and Randy? And the answer is yes. Now, I posted a video, or actually reposted a video, because Randy has been using the video to accuse me of making a threat against Tim. And that was not the subject of the video. The video was a warning to Tim that he is in league with some very dangerous people, and these dangerous people are the money brokers. And I stated in that video that someday somebody is going to get killed. Now, this was January 20th, 2020. In November of 2020, Neely Blanchard executed Chris Hallett. So my prediction came true. But it was Chris Hallett instead of Timothy Charles Homestead. Now, because of who the people are that they are hanging around with, Timmy might have a permanent accident. Now, see, this is the thing. Even though Timmy managed to prove that he's alive and well by doing this book tour, he hasn't said a word on the internet. Now, yes, he's written or put his byline on stuff, But he has not done live stream. He hasn't gotten in his little car, found a McDonald's with a Wi-Fi connection that he can piggyback off and talk to the world about lizard people and fish people and tunnel people and so forth. He hasn't done a live stream of any kind in over a year. And he hasn't even done a current video. All his videos where he shows up on camera discussing stuff is stuff that's over a year old. So it's my opinion that he is under very strict control, that he is not allowed, for whatever reason, to make those videos. Of course, now that I have mentioned this, they are going to scramble more than likely and put Timmy up on a video where he says something. Like, he's going to be like a parrot. They're going to tell him to say something. And he'll say it just to prove that, he can speak. But it's going to be after this webcast, not before it. Because I have not found one example of Tim Holmseth saying a word live or recorded on social media that was made subsequent to May of 2020. So something really odd is going on. And that was the point of that particular video. And it's 42 minutes long, if anybody can stand to listen to me ramble for 42 minutes. But you're going to see why the picture was put up that I put up. And you're going to see the concern of someone that is still loyal to Timmy over how he's being treated by Randy and these other people. Oh boy, I can see I've got to make a typo correction here. I'll do that after the show. Well, somebody use a wrench on Lewis. Lewis, why do you come in where you're not wanted? This is what I don't understand about these people. They come in here, they know they're not wanted. I guess they're desperate for attention, I guess. So, really strange people. But, little kids playing in the sandbox. Well, I banned them. These people have been told not to come in here. That's stalking. That's stalking and harassing, which is a violation of YouTube rules. And what's funny is Randy says all this crap about me over on her Facebook, and she blocks me from the channel. So she can say what she damn well pleases about me. And there's nothing I can do about it. Well, it doesn't matter who it is, John. It's just some idiot that can't mind their own business. And again, it's like I said, they're getting nervous every day we get closer to that trial because they don't know what to expect and they don't want me there. They're scared. They know that they have been mentioned not only by uh, various media outlets like uh, the Daily Beast, but Cynthia has mentioned them. Cynthia is no fan of theirs. And Cynthia, I think, is mad at what's happened to her. And she's blaming Randy, Timmy, Field, and the rest of them for her situation. She probably feels if she hadn't listened to these people, she wouldn't be in the situation she was in. Because I believe there's no incident prior to getting involved with uh, the Children's Crusade where Cynthia had tried to pull a stunt like this. I think the worst she did was not show up in court. And so that is a clear indication that she recognized that it was likely Timmy, Phil, Randy, and so forth that got her in the trouble she's in today. And it's because of that I think she's going to be singing like the canary to law enforcement if she hasn't done so already. You know, because she's going to say something like, look, if it hadn't been for those people, I wouldn't have done this. They caught me at a bad time. They caught me at a weak moment. And now I'm having to pay the price for listening to their advice. Why is he defying the block? Well, I'll tell you what, Louis Perry, you are scared of me because you're trying everything in your power to get me off the air. You're coming in here and interfering with my live stream, and you're not even using your real name. So, why are you in this room? You've got BitChute, you've got Twitter, you've got Gab, you've got Telegraph, and you've got Timmy's little blog. You have to come in this little bitty room with 18 people. Dwayne, he's not allowed in here. He's been told not to come in here. But like Timmy, he cannot take no for an answer. And it's like our little friend Terry. I have told Terry in writing he's not allowed in here. And he comes in here anyway. These people cannot and will not mind their own business. These people are dangerous. They're terrorists. They believe in violence. And they're going to get somebody hurt or killed by their actions. Well, the screenshots are there. I take screenshots of everything they do because even when you ban them, their messages stay there on my panel. So, they are a waste of my time. I'm not interested in them. I told Randy years ago, and I told Tim even longer than that, leave me alone and I won't talk about you. I don't care about you. Go play in somebody else's playground. You can go stalk Kim until the cows come home because she don't care. She's told me that she doesn't care. So you got free reign to go after Kim. Do so at your own risk, but you've got free reign. So Yeah, they got all these right wing channels. I don't know why they need this room. Yeah, I kicked him out. Uh, yeah, Jesus, what is with these people? Yeah, they come in with different login information. It's an old. This has been done. This is how the chat streams were created. That's used against me. Somebody hacked my Twitter account and made the fake chats using my username. It's so easily done. A caveman can do it. Oh my goodness, Mustang has made an SUV. Good God Almighty, everything's an SUV. I never thought I'd see the day they'd make an SUV out of a Mustang. Who the hell is Louis Randall Erickson? Well, they've got the task force up, uh, but nobody goes there. It's these people aren't even allowed on YouTube. It's so easy to get around the bans. I find it hilarious that they keep trying. I mean, what do they think they're going to accomplish? They sit there and they put up a post and it gets deleted almost the instant it gets put out. So they're wasting all that time for nothing. Yes, he did. And that is something that he should have been prosecuted for. Because, look at Nellie Blanchard. Once she thought that Chris Hallett was going to take her children away from her or wasn't going to help her get them back, she executed them. And, who put that in her head? Is that something that one of the QAnons told her? Is that Chris Hallett's not really out to help her? I don't know. Yeah, I seen to put a bug up their ass because they can't, whatever there is about little old me and my 18 people. Well, now it's 16. It just drives them up the wall. And they got the old red ants climbing up their ass. So I guess you could call us the Red Ant Squad because our little red ants are running up their ass. But I do have to be a little careful now. I'm in the partners program, so YouTube is a little stricter with those of us in the partners program. So I'm going to have to clean up the act just a little bit. But this is satire. These people are public figures because they have made themselves famous by declaring that they're one man away from the former president of the United States, even though they still think he's the president. And they think JFK Jr. is alive and that some turd is the postmaster of the world. God, make my head spin thinking about all the weird stuff that they brag about. Goodness. God, the C8 Corvette is a wild looking car. Well, firemen, I don't think. Neely? I don't know where Neely was going. She was caught in Georgia. So there's no telling. I got. Yeah, I really think that Neely was probably trying to get back to Kentucky. I don't know what she was going to do up there. But I still cannot get the body cam uh, of the arrest in Georgia. I've been bugging both law enforcement agencies trying to get that video. So eventually, oh God, I don't know. This David Strait's another one of these that's out in the Twilight Zone. It's just amazing, these people. Yeah, the Postmaster General of the planet kind of left Field in a lurch, as all of them did. Yeah, and I don't think Field understands that yet. Nah, all these people that got him in this situation have run away. You know, he's the forgotten one, just as I said he was going to be. You know, I said a long time ago that, you know, now that Field McConnell is in jail, awaiting trial, now he's in home under house arrest. He's gone. You know, Kirk Pendergrass is literally taking things over with his law channel. Now, Chris Hallett's son read the riot act to Kirk Pendergrass over the use of Chris Hallett's material, so I think that's done. Yeah, so these people are fading off into the sunset, and even Timmy and Randy are fading off. And as time passes and all these promises that are being made fall by the wayside, people are going to get tired of them. So, you know, that's. You know, it's amusing to watch this act of desperation as these people come in here. Because they apparently think that I don't know what they think, actually. I'm sorry, my brain is wandering off. It's an old man thing. But as far as I think the last thing that's going to happen is we're getting into this August 15th thing with Trump being installed as president. When that headline passed, they're going to have to come up with something else. Yeah, that's another, the body cam at the house is another one. Levi tried to get that one, but she went and filed a complaint to the police department, and so that's kind of stuck. I don't know how long it's going to take to clear that up, because it's going to have no merit. It's going to be dropped. And yeah, task force put the thing about Kim on Twitter. That's her latest thing now. She puts everything on Twitter that she puts on. Yeah, she's trying to get back in Phil's good graces, even though she basically is the reason he's in this situation to begin with. Because Phil McConnell did not know who Kim Picazia was until Randy and Tim told him. And now it's ridiculous. Sit there, Phil McConnell holds a severed head of Kim up in the camera, and then Randy lies about a picture of Timmy with a bullet coming at him. And she took it out of context, of course, but that's what she does. Well, speak of the devil. Good evening, Kim, and welcome to the channel. I haven't heard you on here in a while. Hope you're having a good weekend down there in the heart of sunny Florida, in the southern tier of Florida, I guess you could call it. Kim, what I did is I went over a little bit the Cynthia Abcug case, the Zoom hearing that happened Thursday, and the next one that's coming up. And there's another case that was suggested to me, a young child that was killed here in May, so I may start covering that. And then just before you came in, we were talking about our favorite real estate broker from Minnesota and the interesting stuff that she put about you on both her BitChute channel, and now it's come up over on Twitter. So you are the crown in her jewel case once again. And of course, she's coming after me again. I'm supposedly connected to the Finders. I'm supposedly connected to Next VM or whatever the hell that is. And it's just same old, same old, same old, same old, same old. And so that's where we're at. We're just kind of dragging on the conversation here, the 16 of us. And it's just... So they came in there and asking different things. Usual stuff. So, I was trying to figure out from earlier who this inmate in Arizona is, and is he a defense witness or a prosecution witness? I haven't been able to figure that one out. And is the pediatrician a defense witness or a prosecution witness? Yeah, and I did a survey question on Twitter, Levi, asking how many women wear bras to bed. Of course, I was told I better wear clean underwear to bed because they've turned bad stuff about me into the military. Oh, okay. Uh, so, I don't know what's going to, if I get carted off to Gitmo, I guess I'm going to have to get used to the climate down there in Cuba and hope that a hurricane doesn't come and wipe us off the map or something. Yeah, shiver me timbers. Yeah, as long as they don't arrest me before I get back from Colorado, that'd be nice. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, Levi. Maybe she doesn't have any, and she wants to see what people look like. Uh, you know, what it's like with other people wearing underwear. That's how I like them. Bloomers. Boy, that's an old term that hasn't been around in a while. But, you wonder where the underwear went. Okay, Kim, that's what I was wondering because, it just, I couldn't figure out what all that was about because they were doing it right in the middle of the conversation about uh, whether or not they were ready to go to trial. And it was confusing the hell out of me. And at my age, it's easy to confuse somebody. So that solves that problem. I couldn't figure out for the life of me why there'd be a witness from Arizona. But so I stand corrected on that one. Oh, hi, Skippy. Skippy's exploring. But we get Thursday out of the way with whatever they're going to talk about then, probably just a little bit of housekeeping, and then it's off to Denver. And I'll tell you, that town, Castle Rock, Colorado, is the hardest damn town to get transportation to. The train, or they have a shuttle service, but the shuttle stops at midnight. So, and my flight naturally comes in at 5 minutes to midnight. So I'm not going to be able to take the shuttle until 6 o'clock in the morning. So that means that I'm going to have to spend probably 5 hours in the airport before I can even get to Castle Rock. I could take the Uber. That's $140. And that's probably in the interest of time. That's probably what I'm going to do. I'm just going to get on an Uber or Lyft and go to Castle Rock. I'm not too concerned because if all they're doing is jury selection in the morning, I can get down there and by taking the shuttle in the morning and go to the court because the shuttle 6 o'clock in the morning takes an hour to get to Castle Rock from Denver, and I am now at the day's end, so I will be a mile, maybe a mile and a half from the Justice Center. So I will just walk to the courthouse. Or I could take, there's a couple of transportation options once I get there to get me to the court. So we'll see how it works out. Castle Rock is halfway between Denver and Colorado Springs, kind of like a suburb of Denver. An expensive little place to live. You watch the YouTube videos about Castle Rock, and the houses are really expensive there. And the reason it's called Castle Rock is because there's this big rock right, in town. It's kind of like a landmark. And so, a long time ago, somebody came to this area, saw this big rock, and said, well, we'll call this town Castle Rock. And there you are. Yeah, it's it's an up and coming area down there. Yeah, Parker's not too far from Castle Rock, and it's in Douglas County, which is why the trial's being held in Castle Rock. That's apparently the county seat. And the Justice Center there is a massive complex. You got the jail and the courthouse and the probation department all in one great big building. Well, I noticed. I met her personally. So she's a looker. Oh. Yeah, she is, Kim. I agree with that. Yeah, I've had a double of a time in Douglas County, Chloe, trying to get information. You get the docket, that's about all. No discovery coming out, no witness list, extremely limited information. And it's my opinion, I guess it's because of the child. And this is why I'm wondering how much I'm going to be able to do when I get there because of the fact that a child is involved in this case. Yeah, I agree. It would help uh, me with this situation, but there's just absolutely nothing out there. So we just have to go with what. Well, okay, Levi, then that I will go to Plan B because I'm not going to take unnecessary risks if it's going to be that much of a problem. Uh, but I will, I'm going to check with the court. I've got um, communications going with the administration, so we'll see what happens. Well, Glow, if that's the case, it's like I said, I'm going to play it by ear when it comes to I will look into it when I'm up there. This is one of the reasons that I want to get there early Monday because I want to talk to the court and find out what uh, what I'm going to be allowed, not allowed to do. and uh, go from there. Because if this is going to be a closed court, then there's a different approach that I have to make. Savannah, Georgia. And this guy, I was up there a couple times. An interesting town. Yeah, firemen, I have already, or Levi, I have already talked to um, the Ocala Sheriff's Office and the district attorney out there. Uh, I have connections in Marion County because of my business that I had up there. And so I am more optimistic with Ocala than with Colorado because I don't know a thing about Colorado. So I'm gonna talk to uh, the court administrator up there. I've got their address and see what he says. The big thing is they probably, if they're going to give Court TV a hard time, they're not going to be too impressed with a blogger. So I have to tread lightly and see what I'm going to do. Well, I know I probably will go just for that reason, firemen, because they are already having a fit that I'm going up there. That's one of the reasons they've intensified their attacks against me is they do not like the fact that I am going to Colorado. And they've already made threats that they're going to make reports and all kinds of stuff. And I would expect that it's going to continue through the week. But, I'm used to it. When you get my age, nothing bothers you anymore. It's just, I've had to put up with this crap for 12 years. A resident ghost. Oh, cool. Nothing like a resident ghost. No, this is actually my second. Well, this is actually my third, because the last one was the state of Kentucky versus Derek Lossiter, and of course I went through Orange County with the Casey Anthony case, and Casey Anthony case was good because I was able to lock into the court cameras. They have robot cameras in the court that the judge controls. And I got both audio and video from that court. But I don't think Ocala has that facility, and I don't think Castle Rock has it, and I'm not sure about Broward County. Because once I get close to Phil McConnell's case, I'm going to start contacting the Broward County administration to find out what media arrangements I can make down there. Well, Dwayne, it's part Phil's fault and mostly Timmy and the gang's fault. I mean, Field was already going down a weird road before he got involved with Timmy. And he was all too easily persuaded because of the issues that he had with his sister and the fact that she was a Democrat. So when Kim came along, it was just not that hard of a choice for him to get on the Holmeseth bandwagon and go after her. So he deserves what he's going to get. And he deserves more, frankly, than he's going to get, because there's a possibility he'll get hit with time served and a stiff probation once this hits the court. It's hard to say. This case has gone on so long. It's just but there is a hearing in September in regards to Field. It's a status hearing. Field doesn't even have to show up for it. The lawyer's going to represent it. But I think this is going to be a conga line of trials. We're going to have Cynthia Abcug, and then possibly Field, and then into Neely Blanchard. Well, fireman, it depends on what size the ankle bracelet is. The technology every day gets improved on those things, and a GPS doesn't need to be that big, so they could make one small enough that it's relatively comfortable, yet still be tamper-proof. So, well, neither do I, Kim. I wish there was something that I could do, but it's a funny coincidence that this is taking place on August 2nd, and I think you know why. So it's kind of weird. Does he have to pay for the ankle bracelet? I don't know, though. I think so. Because I remember one other case where the defendant had to pay like $100 a month for the monitoring of for the monitoring, because there's someone that has to check the monitor and check on him. So that's a good well, fireman just answered the question, so. But I thought I read somewhere in the paperwork that Field is being charged for that. And I'd have to go through. Yeah, it's a couple $100 a month, I think. Something like that. It's not cheap at all. And I imagine he's going to get slapped with court costs before all this is over, if he's adjudicated guilty. Yeah, Angel, this is he got mixed up in something called Zim currency, and he said he was going to have $1 trillion in Zim currency. And when it was reinstated by the World Bank, everybody was going to be rich, and he was going to go out and buy the Pickens Ranch, which has since been sold. And it was a scam because he was going to have Marine or military families that had problems due to the war there to heal up. And it's just one of the many stuff. Yeah, the Zim bonds. And he was also going to go down to some function before he got arrested. And he was going to sell a bunch of autographed books from Timmy. And that fell through. And so now Timmy and Randy are running around the country giving the books away for free. I think they said that they've given out free books, 24 of them. Actually, Dwayne, if you had seen what I saw in the latest appearance, he didn't seem to be bothered by any of it. So I don't feel sorry for him at all. He's only a year older than me. He's a year older, maybe 2 years older than me. And they want to ship my ass off to Gitmo. So and the pain and agony he has caused a bunch of people, he deserves to have the book thrown at him. Yeah, he got arrested before Crazy Con. I don't know how to raise my hand on this thing. No, I don't think he should be allowed. I think he's flaunting the privilege. He's making a joke out of everything. I just don't go for that at all. I think the reason he's there, the excuse he's given the court, is that he does not have internet access at his house, which I think is a lie. My device that I use for measuring RF off of Wi-Fi indicated that there was a Wi-Fi at that house. So, but if he says there's no Wi-Fi, there's no Wi-Fi. I don't know where the signal was coming from. But be that as it may, I think he's violating already. But it's up to you and what you want to do about it. I do not think you should have given him the break he gave him. I understand the reasoning because his wife died, but I would have had his ass shipped right back to Florida after maybe 2 or 3 weeks instead of staying up there indefinitely. Yeah, Levi, that's a classic. And Tim let it slide. He said, Holmes said never brings that up, and Randy never brings it up. Dwayne, it's just that I've been on the receiving end of a lot of their crap, and I would not give Field McConnell an inch. But I'm not the victim in the case, so, all I can do is give an opinion. And Good Vibes should have the book thrown at him. I think Good Vibes may be in trouble with the Abcug case because he was involved in that. He had a direct connection. And so that um, is something that may be considered as the trial goes forward in that case. Well, yes and no, Kim. His freedom may be restricted, but he has $500,000 worth of cars he can play with. He's got 2 limousines. He's got the hearse. He's got a hell of a collection of cars because the Internal Revenue Service has not done a thing yet about getting their taxes out of him. And it looks like, for the time being, he's been able to save the house. So, I don't know. He's not having it rough by any stretch. He may be pissed off that he can't get back on his radio, but I think his message is getting out there and he's being made a martyr of. So, well, you're partially right. He's a bitter old man. He used to be a pilot. He screwed up, got his ass fired, disqualified from flying. He got, he was at the top of the world for a while. He had a huge following. That he was popular on his show. And then he got mixed up with Timmy and Randy, and it all fell apart. But when you see him in these conferences, he just doesn't it doesn't seem to bother him unless he's just putting on a face for people out there. But he's got he's got Kathy's there, doctor's there, a few other people are there. So he's got a supporter. So he isn't entirely suffering. Exactly, Levi. And I think this is why they are doing what they're doing over on BitChute. I think they're trying to worm in to show Field how he can get his message out through them. They're trying to get the rights of the show from Field, and then they would gradually set them aside. And yeah, you're probably right, Kim, because you see this with Timmy and Randy. It's the same thing for them. They need the accolades. Timmy needs to be this important messenger of the president of the United States and this all-powerful task force. None of which is true. He's the eternal victim. He claims the president or vice president of the United States tried to have him killed, and so on and so forth. Firemen, I would not think that Bill would be allowed to drink on camera. I don't think that'd be a smart thing to be doing. I would hope that whatever he was drinking on camera was not an alcoholic beverage. I think the only way they'd be able to find out is to do a blood alcohol test to see what is. Well, Kim just answered that question. Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, the Antholite and the ankle monitor can do blood alcohols? Oh, wow. I'm going to have to do some research on those things. Well, Angel, if Florida doesn't get them, Wisconsin will. He's got charges pending in Wisconsin. Apparently, he made a death threat or a threat of violence against a bank official up there, and maybe even an officer of the court, from what I understand. So, when Florida's done with him, maybe Wisconsin will take a crack at him, and he still has to deal with the Internal Revenue Service. He's not off the hook by any stretch, no matter what happens in Florida. Yeah, he used to. Yeah, I don't know if the bank official was female or male, but I think that it had to do with the foreclosure on the house, if I remember correctly. Um, Thelma and Louise. Which one is Timmy? I don't understand where that keeps on. It's down here. Oh, huh. Well, she does the same to me, Kim. I think it's funny. All these idiotic threats that she makes. She really thinks uh, I'm bothered by it all. I think it's making her look uh, unbelievably stupid. But what are you going to do? This considering the junk that she believes in. This wedding cake thing is weird. Good advertising. What's the deal with the wedding cakes? And I have to visit the web page and read up on that. That's interesting marketing. Well, I agree with you that Tim is more responsible because he knows how to manipulate people and he talked Field into this. But I also think at the same time is Field saw an opportunity because Tim had this book and he had a fairly large following at that time. And with the help of Radney, he probably thought he could exploit Timmy. And it backfired because Field is not as wise as he thinks he is. And, he just fell into a trap and now he's paying the price. And, it would appear that uh, Randy is the only one that figured him out. And she has him under her thumb. She's the puppet master. She's the boss. She's declared that she owns his publishing, quote, empire. She you know, controls every aspect of his life. And I think it started almost immediately after they got together. And she just worked him until the point where she controls it all. She's the queen of the castle. That was funny. Good one, Levi. So, one thing I am going to, I may have mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention it again. I am now a YouTube partner. Means that I can seek out sponsorships, I can seek out advertises, and I can have a super chat. Now, I'm probably going to go the super chat route for now, because it's a passive way to help defray my expenses. This is what Monograph does, and I'm going to do something similar. I just got to figure out how to set the thing up. Yeah, I'll do that, Chloe. I want to refresh my memory because I got to start getting background on Field for when his trial starts up. While your intuition is correct, I found that out in my Chaos project that there's going to be some federal indictments coming to all of them. Because I'll tell you, spending 4 hours at the FBI headquarters in Minneapolis was no picnic. They asked a lot of questions. I had to bring my laptop in, the very one that I'm on right now, and access my server down here in Orlando so that they could see everything that I had. And at that time, I had a complete banker box of written material and half of the other one. And then I had, I got a multi-terabyte hard drive here at the house computer that had a lot of stuff on it. And it's mainly all the posts that every one of them have been making since the beginning. And this is going way back to when Tim Homeseth first started going after me, and from that time forward. So I have all of it recorded. And so Celtic. Well, I'm 100% Irish fireman. Murtaugh is from County Cork. And I think, I just am hoping that enough comes out in the Blanchard case that give them all a Malox moment. Because that's the one that they were very, very, very closely tied to. And, well, that explains the Celtic part. I'm 100% fee fi fo fum material. But it's the Abcug case is a key that I'm going to be real curious what comes out of it. Is there going to be stuff come out that is going to give these people a Maylocks moment? Is important things going to come out, or is it going to be a dud? We won't know that until the trial itself. The only thing that we will learn is how much trouble people can get into by getting involved with these people. And, that's the thing. The two of them are joyriding around, taking pictures of books in front of buildings and having a good old time. And people like Neely Blanchard and Cynthia Abcug, sorry about that, are paying the price for associating with them. And so now, every day that goes by, more and more people are paying the price. We have at least two more cases coming up that have something to do with these people. One of them being primarily Kirk Pendergrass and whatever this weird court thing that gave her the paperwork where she thought she could take her kids back. Yeah, I don't think they were too happy about that. And this is a temporary pass. Oh, Lady D, welcome. Uh, I just had our little conversation over there on Twitter. And, like I was saying earlier, it's getting into Castle Rock is a bear. They have no city buses in Castle Rock, which I find weird considering the size of that town. And getting rental cars in that state is as expensive, if not impossible. Yeah, Cam, I don't know why somebody hasn't done anything about Kirk yet. I mean, he is really brazen in the stuff he's been doing. But getting back to Castle Rock, you would think that even if it's a suburb, they would do something. The map I had of the, I guess it's the light rail, has the lines coming down as far as just east or just west of Parker. And so I would probably, the way it looks now, I'm probably going to do the $150 trip on Uber or Lyft to get down to the hotel. And then I'll take the shuttle back to the airport on Saturday when I go back. If I had been able to find a cheaper airfare, I would have gotten up there a little earlier, but it just didn't work out. Getting into Denver at midnight is not the best thing in the world to do, because you either hang around for 4 hours at the airport or you figure out a way to get down to Castle Rock. And so that's where I'm at the moment. But, I'll work it out. I've done it before. Yeah, lady, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take one of the two. It's anywhere from $1.25 to $1.50 one way to go down there. And then when I go back, I'll take the shuttle. I think it's Groom Transportation, and they quoted me $30 one way from the airport to Castle Rock, and so I'll probably do the same thing in reverse when I go back to the airport on Saturday. Don't do that, Kim. You know, the guy paid the consequences getting Kirk involved so he can pay the price. Yeah, the greater Denver area seems to be pretty expensive. Well, I'm glad you said almost because he doesn't deserve any consideration at all. These people dug their grave. Now they can lay in it. Yeah, the light rail would get me. See, the flight lands at Denver at 11:55, so I would probably make that's 12. I don't know, but yeah, well, it's not too cheap down here in Florida either. Yeah, well, Hallett paid the price for mind fucking Neely. That's for sure. Uh, but someone got it in her head that Hallett was actually trying to keep her children away from her. And that uh, is what caused her to snap. And so that's incitement to violence right there. So whoever talked Neely into doing that or got her so mad to do that has some responsibility, if not quite a bit of it. I mean, she's, from what I've read of her prior history, Neely's something of a loose cannon anyway. I think she tried to run her mother over with a car. Yeah, Pendergrass is the one that's uh, said he was the lawyer. Kirk. Well, it's too bad you couldn't get the name of that Florida lawyer and pass it on to Craig Sawyer. He could serve Tim through his lawyer. Yeah, he could always represent himself. That'd go over good. Yeah. Proceed lawyering. Uh, I love it. Florida allowed this guy that killed the Orlando cop to be his own lawyer. Boy, did that really worked out well for the guy. No, I certainly would say not. I think the postmaster of the world has left all these guys in the dust, so to speak. Um, uh, I don't think so. They might, but I don't think they want to be within 100 feet of me because they're scared of me. But, if they show up, they show up. It'd be funny as hell. Um, we'd probably sit there and take pictures of each other. And I don't think Randy would pull a Kirk Pendergrass and try and confront me. And I do have a little present for Neely or for Randy if she shows up. So, and it's Cynthia, not Neely, by the way. I'd wave at him and say, "Hi, how you doing, guys? You want to go on camera? Explain why you're calling me a pedophile? Oh, and Randy, here's a little piece of paper for you I've been asked to give you." So, I personally have, I've been told that if they show up in Castle Rock, the county sheriff is in the same building as the court, and they would serve Randy and Tim the paperwork from Craig Sawyer's lawsuit. So it would not be a terribly bright idea for them to show up in Denver. And that goes for the other two process servers out there. If they show up in Colorado, all three process servers, or actually four, would be able to serve them on the spot, and I would catch it on camera. So that would be an absolute trip. But I think if Tim saw me at the courthouse, he would turn around and run like a dog that got his ass kicked. He doesn't want to be within 100 yards of me. He would melt like jelly into the sidewalk. Because, they would have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, possibly 4 notices to appear in one shot if they showed up at that courthouse. So we'll see what happens. Randy has said she's going to be there. So we'll see. Are they having an affair? I would be surprised if they were not having an affair. But, there's no proof of that. So, and it's like the scene in the U.S. Marshals. I don't care. Because I really don't. I don't care what those two do. She seems to be very interested in Kimberly's love life. I mean, good grief. Yeah, you probably would, fireman. That guy is such a chicken shit. And that's why he won't go anywhere near me. He'd have to, he'd probably go out and get his 6 Marines or Navy SEALs or whatever. So, it's. Oh, well, yeah. The guy's free to go out and find himself a new one. Get himself a new snuggle bunny. Hmm. Oh, God. They're getting kind of gross in here, guys. Oh, God, this chair is killing me. Yeah. I think we're all going to have nightmares tonight. Oh, my God. Yep, she wants you to and she wants you to sleep in your bra, and she wants me to sleep in clean underwear. I don't get that. You wonder if she sleeps with her bra. It's some of this weird stuff that comes out of her fingers on the keyboard. I don't know. And she also put it on BitChute, I believe. But and she goes on. She has this thing about underwear. Uh, she likes pictures of men in their underwear. She's always talking about underwear. Weird. I don't know how wearing a bra is easier on the Undertaker. I thought maybe the reason for the bra is when cops come to arrest us, it's just a little. I thought they made bras with no underwires now. Those. You can always wear a sports bra, I guess. God, now I'm getting into talking about bras. Jeez. Uh, do, do, do. Yeah. Oh, goodness gracious. Hello, lipstick. I'm still working out trying to figure out what that trespass conviction was against Holmeseth. You kind of wonder if he was going around either being a peeping Tom or maybe stealing women's underwear off a clothesline. You never know. Yeah, I muted by mistake. Oh well. Yeah, I hit this laptop has got a real soft thing here, and I must have brushed up against it and turned myself off. But I just getting a kick out of watch everybody talk to each other. So yeah, she still does that, Lindy. Yeah. Yeah, she's an absolute trip. Freakazoid. Now I suspect that after tonight we're going to see a whole bunch of videos coming out. So that ought to be interesting. You know, they probably passed out right now, so they got to go through and edit and see what they're going to accuse us of next. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the husband. I mean, he's demeaning the crap out of himself if he's covering up for her. That's pretty damn sad. So I don't know what's going on there. Oh, that's the least of. Yeah, I sure did. I keep hitting this damn. This laptop has got a real touch sensitive thing here, and I'm gonna have to watch that. Well, maybe it's because, you know, remember that in the book that Timmy uh, admitted to playing with matches, and they have uh, unsolved cases in the East Grand Forks area of arson. So, you know, and we don't know what that damn trespass thing was about. Maybe he was trying to set a fire. You don't know. Yeah. It's an old case, so I'm having a hard time getting the records of that. One of these days. Yeah, it's 10 minutes. It's almost 1 o'clock, and it's getting to the point where I'm going to close down. I'll actually be used to this because there's no telling what's going to happen with Denver. Because I'm going to, with Denver, I'm going to be live streaming every night. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I will live stream after court every night. I'll live stream from the court before the trial starts and during lunch and any extended recess. I may come out real quick, give a quick update, and go right back in again if I cannot live stream from inside the court. And I'm planning on it as to that I probably will not be able to live stream in the court. Now, this is the same thing I did with Derek Lawseter, because it was a federal courthouse. You can't do anything in a federal courthouse. So I came out after everything was over and, did my thing on the front entrance to the courthouse. So that's what we're looking at possibly here. All right, you have a good night, Kim. Keep in touch. Have a good Sunday. I'm 2 minutes out from closing down myself. People my age need to get their sleep. Yeah, lady, I'm going to check with the court administration and find out exactly what's going on with that. Again, because this involves children, I don't know how old the daughter is right now, but the son is a minor. And so the court might be a little bit strict on that aspect. If I can at least get in there and sit as an observer, that would accomplish a lot. Otherwise, I'll have to work around the situation. So we'll see how it goes. And with that, I'm going to close it out. I would appreciate it if people would like, subscribe, share the live streams, and stay tuned as the countdown to Castle Rock continues. Every day we're getting closer and closer to the big day. And so until then, have a good one. Good night, all.